If you're overweight, out of shape, skinny, whatever it may be, and the point is that you want to change your life through a fitness journey, and you're wondering, is it even possible? Well, I'll tell you right now that I am living proof that it is very possible, and it's actually quite simple. And I'm going to teach you how I went from back in 2020 being 165 pounds in fat to now in 2025 being 200 pounds lean, low body fat. I'm going to teach you exactly how I did that. It's very simple. And no, I'm not some genetically gifted person. I'm just a regular guy who put in systems and habits in order to transform my physique. And it all started back in 2020 when I had a major realization that I needed to change. Listen, back in 2020, I was addicted to junk food. And I hated the way I looked, I hated the way I felt, and I just had such little confidence in general because of these issues. And that's what made me realize that I needed to change now. And around that same time, I realized not only do I need to lose body fat, but I also need to build muscle to help build a larger, better physique. And that's how I learned how to lose fat and build muscle at the exact same time. And it all comes down to three major pillars that can be broken down into subcategories, which I will do in this video. Number one is training, number two is recovery, and number three is movement. For training, you want to make sure that you're training at least 3 to 4 times per week, training very intensely, training to failure. That's exactly how we train. We want to be in the gym 3 to 4 times per week at least and train very intensely. Ideally, every set that we do is to failure. That's how we build the most maximum amount of muscle that we possibly can. And also, when we're training, we want to focus on compound movements. Basically, compound movements are movements that hit multiple muscle groups at the exact same time. And that's how we can promote being efficient with our training. Because if we were to do something like a bench press, that hits chest, shoulders, and triceps. That's 3 muscle groups in just one exercise. And that's the type of exercises we want to focus on. Compound movements, training to failure, and just being intense all around and being efficient. For the second category, that's recovery. That's going to be our nutrition and our sleep. Let's start with sleep. With sleep, we want to make sure that we're aiming to get 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep every single night, because sleep is where the muscles are growing and also where the fat is being lost, is mostly when we're asleep. And the next part of recovery is nutrition. And nutrition is the most important part of this whole process. And that can be broken down into 3 categories, which is protein, calories, and whole foods. Basically, when it comes to protein, you want to be eating your body weight in pounds and grams of protein. And I'll say that in a bit of a better way. The amount of protein that you want to eat in one day is grams per pound of body weight. So, for example, at the beginning of my fitness journey, I weighed 165 pounds. So my goal protein intake for the day would be 165 grams. Hope that makes sense. That's as simple as it is. If you aim for that, you will be eating enough protein to not only build muscle, but also feel full when you're eating as well, because protein is a natural hunger suppressor. The next part is calories. Now this is where the fat loss is going to happen. In order to lose body fat, we want to make sure that we're in a calorie deficit, which means we burn more calories than we eat every single day. And that doesn't mean starving yourself, because I made that mistake in 2021, 1 year into my fitness journey, where I was like, okay, I gotta be in a calorie deficit. Larger the calorie deficit, the better the fat loss. Not true at all, because if you have a very large calorie deficit, which means you're burning a lot more calories than you eat per day, you're actually gonna end up starving yourself, which is what I made the mistake of in 2021, and that's actually gonna end up leading you to binge even more later down the line, which is going to cause more fat gain. So you want to be in a slight calorie deficit, ideally 300 to 500 calories in a deficit. Protein is where the muscles are built, calories are where the fat is lost, and the third category of nutrition is whole foods, which is where we get our calories and our protein from. We want to make sure that we're eating healthy whole foods because these are healthy for us and they're nutrient dense. We want to make sure that the protein and the calories that we're getting are coming from good quality foods. For example, a protein found in some fast food Big Mac burger is way worse than the protein found in a nice steak. Steak isn't a good example of a whole food. And you can also think of whole foods like having only one ingredient. If the food only has one ingredient, maybe 2 maximum, that's a quality food that you should focus on. I'll go ahead and recap nutrition. Calories, protein, and whole foods. That's where the fat loss and muscle growth really happens, along with sleep, of course. And the training is also important, of course. And the third major pillar of this physique transformation criteria is movement. And you wanna make sure that you're moving around 6 to 10,000 steps every single day, because this is gonna help you stay healthy, stay active. It's gonna help your mental health as well, but also it's gonna burn extra calories, which will help you be able to eat more in the kitchen as well. If you move 6 to 10,000 steps a day, that's gonna burn a lot of calories, which means you have more leeway to be able to eat more in the kitchen, so to speak. So movement is just a good all-around thing to keep in mind when you want to lose body fat. So yeah, those are the 3 pillars, and I'll just quickly go over the pillars again with their broken down subcategories. Number 1 is training. Obviously, training doesn't really have any subcategories, but some tips that we mentioned is stick to compound movements, train to failure, and train at least 3 to 4 times per week, ideally more. The second pillar is recovery, and that can be broken down into subcategories: nutrition and sleep. Nutrition, calories, protein, and whole foods, like we mentioned. And the third major pillar, like I said, is movement. And you want to stick to 6,000 to 10,000 steps per day to help your health, your mental clarity, and also just more calorie burn, which helps with fat loss. And so yeah, those are the 3 pillars that I thought of and that I came up with on my journey through bodybuilding. By the time I actually built my physique, I think it's important to mention exactly how I felt and what areas of my life improved. First of all, I gained so much confidence. My confidence went through the roof. And I suggest if anyone has not gone on a fitness journey, that you should as soon as possible, because your confidence will be like no other. The next thing is obviously fat loss. I got skinnier, but in a healthy way, because I also built muscle. So I got bigger and stronger, but also lost fat. All around, just a perfect way to transform a physique. Also, I became healthier. I broke that junk food addiction that I was talking about, and I stuck to whole foods, getting my quality protein in, getting quality amounts of calories, and also just being healthy all around and choosing healthy foods. Overall, by the time I was 200 pounds and lean with low body fat here in 2025, I feel like I've became a completely new version of myself, and I've never been happier. And if you still feel kind of stuck, because there is a lot to learn when it comes to doing a fitness transformation, because not only do you have the information now you actually have to implement the habits and the systems to actually make the transformation happen. And if you need more help with that, I actually do one-on-one personalized fitness coaching, where we can work together one-on-one and I can personally coach you. And in my coaching, I help people lose fat and build muscle at the exact same time, just like I did on my 5-year journey. So if that sounds good to you, make sure to fill out that top link in the description down below, and I'll be ready to chat with you and help you out. And of course, if this video helped you, make sure to drop a like and subscribe, because I post a video just like this once every week. And I also have Instagram and TikTok, where I post every single day, multiple times a day, sharing fitness value that I've learned over the years. So yeah, hope you found this video valuable, and we'll talk soon.